Markers.
Okay, alright.
It's too neat.
Just let somebody else.
I do
Oh, it's a bad one.
David.
David.
Didn't expect to turn around and see so many people. I'm Jamie, and this is my project. Essentially, it is two controllers that control a granular synth, and the idea behind this was watching Owen do his electroacoustic compositions, and seeing that to create them he needed to do a lot of automation and programming and stuff like that. So I thought it would be a great idea that you could actually do these electroacoustic compositions with the human body movements through these controllers. Essentially each controller consists of an Arduino, and connected to the Arduinos I have an accelerometer in each one, and these accelerometers are used to control the parameters of the granular synth. Parameters in the synth are the grain rate, the grain duration, and the grain pitch. And each one has a maximum and minimum range that you can set. So this controller sets all the minimum values, and this one sets all the maximum values. I have the X value of each accelerometer controlling the grain rate, the Y controls the pitch, and Z controls the duration. Also with the Z, it controls the granular synth has buffers that you load your samples into. So I've actually set up Z to be able to scroll through the buffer. So it plays back different parts of the sound. I linked that to the duration because I felt that buffer length and grain duration was linked together. I also have an ultrasonic rangefinder on this controller, and basically the initial plan was to be able to read the distance between each controller, and that in turn would control the amount of reverb that I have going into the signal. But as I quickly found out, if I have the controllers like this, it's fine, it'll read the distance, but so if it maybe goes like this all of a sudden, it'll read the distance to the roof. Which isn't a bad thing, because at the same time you never really know what you're going to get, which is nice. I also have infrared sensors, and they turn on and off the reverb. With the Y value, I've also calculated the velocity of Y, so depending on how hard you hit the controller, it triggers a ping pong delay as well. To get the data into Max, which is running the synthesizer, I needed to program the Arduinos. Once all the data comes into the Arduino, it's sent to Max via serial. And then I created a patch then that it might be hard to see. You can see all my individual values coming in there. I also have two switches in each controller. The green one in this controller actually triggers, and the synthesizer starts it up. With controlling moving about, the values are always constantly changing, so I thought that if you discovered a really nice sound that you wanted, you could flick this switch and it freezes all the values. So it means that it will be a bit of a pain if you were trying to recreate that great sound that you just missed out on. On this controller, there's presets available for the synthesizer, so presets determine different values for the grain rate, etc. So these two switches scroll up and down the presets. So yeah, that's really it. I can give a demonstration now. That shouldn't sound like that. I can start this up again. So, yep, that's a quick demonstration. And does anyone have any questions? Yeah, that's right.
Can I ask about your gestural language then? So oftentimes, I mean, it was interesting enough to play. Oftentimes, you know, it's hard to. Oftentimes, when you're moving X, you're moving Y and Z
Yep.
together. Yeah. So, I mean, did you discover anything about I don't know, just the gestural language. I mean, were you sort of learning a sort of gestural language? If you share some of your findings about how, you know, your movements corresponded to the desired sort of musical development.
I found that after picking up, after using this for a couple of minutes, you sort of found and got used to what controlled what. I always find that if you had the controllers down like this, it created them low bass subby kind of sounds.
Because, sorry, the low bass is because of?
The pitch.
Oh, right, you're changing the pitch.
Yeah, I was changing the pitch with the Y value of the accelerometers. Yeah, no, it was very easy to sort of, it all felt natural once. I tried mapping originally. The X value would control the minimum
Sure.
pitch, and the Y would control the maximum,
Sure,
using
right.
one controller, but that was really awkward to use.
And can you move along that? So if you have, let's say you fixed it, you know, the same minimum maximum, can you move along the process then? So whatever, if it's frequency, can you make like minimum 100, maximum 100, but then move 100 to like 50 and then up to?
You can do that with a bit of practice.
Oh, right, okay.
I just haven't perfected that yet.
Was it just by out of sort of good fortune that you're saying it's fairly intuitive, right? So you just sort of feel your way around music, which is perfect and exactly what you would aim for.
Yeah.
Is that, did you get lucky, or did you? Was there some thought put into the way you map things? And
Yeah, there
those
was
kind of
thought.
things?
I found that trying to have say all the pitch values mapped to one controller didn't work at all. It was really awkward to use, and then I racked my brain for hours trying to figure out a better way of mapping it, and then it just made sense to have all your minimum values on one controller and the maximum on the other.
Yeah, I think that was a really clever decision
Mhm,
because
mhm,
there's something very intuitive about controlling anything, about a relationship between hands. So if you're talking about making a range of values or fixing a relationship and then moving that relationship, there's something really intuitive about having a minimum thingy and a maximum thingy, whatever that is. So that was the best bit of your decision making.
Because it made sense too. It was more of a visual thing as well,
Yeah,
because if I have the controllers like that, and I know that by moving the Y down and moving that one up, I already know by looking at that that pitch, the minimum pitch, is lower than the maximum one. Do you know what I mean?
And you can sort of see it when you
Yeah.
hear it,
Yeah.
even if you didn't understand anything about what's going on.
Yeah.
You have to hear the music.
Yeah.
There's just one more question about. The preset, which I really love. I really love that idea that you can freeze it. Can you go back to it?
I would like to be able to store it one way or another. I haven't figured out how to do that
You
yet.
can go up and down through them sequentially. In
Oh
different
yeah,
directions.
you can
Yeah.
you can actually store them.
Yeah. Okay.
I just haven't programmed that bit yet. But there's my little preset icon there, and you can see by pressing the green one, it moves it up, increments it. You can see the values changing. If
Right,
you
okay.
press this button, it changes it to go back down. So when you press that, it scrolls down the presets as well. I would probably just put another switch on that so that whenever you did find a sound that you liked, you could literally just press it and it stores the values into the next free slot.
Great, thank you.